Donna Meldon, Executive Director for the Holmes County Chamber of Commerce, and this is Chats with the Chamber Lady. Today's guest is Brittany Tucker. She is the Communications Chair with Impact 100 Gulf Coast, a non-for-profit. Welcome, Brittany.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been a pleasure already.
Well, we are so excited to have you here to come and talk about Impact 100 Gulf Coast. And now, for someone who has never heard of Impact 100 Gulf Coast, how would you describe the mission in just a few sentences?
I would say that Impact 100 Gulf Coast is focused in Northwest Florida. So we serve Bay, Gulf, Jackson, Holmes, Washington, and Calhoun counties. And we really focus on the power of transformative grants. So a lot of collaborative giving, being a part of something larger than yourself and making really big sustainable impacts in our community.
Can you walk us through the grant process from application to you awarding the actual grant?
Absolutely. So like I said, we do these transformational grants. The premise is each member gives $1,000. For every 100 members, we have a $100,000 grant.
Oh my goodness.
People can apply to those grants in any of our pillars, and they submit an application. They are heavily vetted. So the first step of this process is to submit financial affidavits and a complete application with the program you're writing for. It does have to make a substantial impact in one of our pillar areas. Once our grants application committee goes through those applications for thoroughness to make sure they're completed correctly, everything is there. Then we do site visits and continued conversations with those applicants to learn a little bit more about who they are, get to know the heart and soul that you don't always get to see in a grant application, see their site, see their mission in action, get a feel for it. Once that happens, we narrow it down to finalists. Finalists come present to the full membership. So all of our members are able to come to those finalist presentations. The finalists give a full presentation on their proposed project, answer any questions the members have. And once that's narrowed down to the final three, we send out a membership-wide vote. So every single member who gives $1,000 gets a vote in the process. You don't have to show up. You can go online, vote from your computer, and then that's how they're awarded. The top this year, 3 award applicants get those $100,000 grants.
Brittany, you mentioned the pillars.
I did.
Can you go over those for us today?
Absolutely. So we have arts and culture, which are those things that sort of build a sense of community, that give you those third spaces to meet, to spend time, to gather, to share a meeting of the minds in your community. So traditional art, culinary art, music, anything considered like quality of life enhancer.
Okay.
We have family, which can span a wide range of things. This year, one of our award applicants would fall under that, Anchorage Children's Home.
I'm very familiar with that organization.
Yes, wonderful organization. Education is another one of our pillars, which I think sort of speaks for itself. We have health and wellness and environmental sustainability. So that can be environmental regrowth as well as sustainability.
So anyone can apply for a grant as long as the money goes towards one of these pillars. Is that correct?
Mostly correct. So you do have to be a nonprofit, a 501c3.
Okay.
So for-profit businesses are not eligible for these grants.
Okay.
But any non-for-profit that is writing a program that serves one of those pillars is eligible to write for a grant.
Right.
There are, like I said, financial requirements where we have to do vetting and auditing and be sure.
Okay.
We have to be sure they're doing what they say they're doing with their money. So our members give us $1,000. They trust us with that. We need to be good stewards of that money and be sure that it's going to a good cause.
So it's complete transparency.
Complete transparency. There's no one who works for Impact 100. We are board run. So everyone who is here is also a member donating $1,000, and we take the way we spend that money pretty seriously.
Brittany, how do these awarded grants typically transform the organization that receives them?
There are very few opportunities in the nonprofit space to receive grants of this size, especially locally. So a lot of the larger grants are done on a global, national scale, sometimes even statewide, which can make it hard for areas like Northwest Florida to always be competitive. Having something where your local dollars stay local and awarding grants of this size, giving our local nonprofits an opportunity to get something of that scope is very transformative for them. It can be hard if you have to have $80,000 program, and you have to piecemeal together $5,000 grant here, $10,000
Right.
grant here. Each grant has its own requirements with what you can spend, what you can't spend. It can be very difficult to put all of that together to have a program. So being able to go to one place and receive a $100,000 grant, that could fully fund a program and give opportunities for programs to exist that otherwise may never have gotten to.
Can you share a success story of a local nonprofit that received one of your grants?
I would love to. One of my favorite success stories comes from Anchorage Children's Home. They got an award to do a program that supplies meals to children in schools. And one of the high school students at a local high school came to get a meal, and just in that conversation, right, they had an organic conversation sparked with a safe space adult, and they were talking to them about their living situation, and they were living in a car with their mother. Through that conversation, they were able to get services. Anchorage Children's Home has spaces for adults to have like an independent living. So once this child was able to connect with them through that conversation, through that program, they are now living in that independent living space with a roof over their head, enrolled in college, and that just completely changed the trajectory of their life.
Just amazing results.
Amazing results. And it has that effect sometimes, a domino effect, as I call it, where you say, well, giving someone a meal isn't going to change their life, but it can. It really can be that simple.
What community needs does Impact 100 focus upon and then meet from these organizations?
I would say that it would stay in those 5 pillars. So
Okay.
the arts and culture, education, family, health, and environment. How that looks year to year will change. So the beautiful thing about opening these grants to all nonprofits and giving them the ability to choose the programs they're writing for is that those grants will evolve over the years to meet the needs of the community. And because those pillars are so broad, we will let the community tell us what it needs that year, and then we're just here to support the needs.
Wonderful. Now, what motivates women to join Impact 100 Gulf Coast?
I think a few things. That's probably different for each woman that you ask, but there are a few common threads that we see throughout. So the first one would be that feeling of being something larger than yourself. A second one is the collective power of giving for women. I think it makes women feel good to have something for us that is giving back. And then for me personally, and I know there are others like this, we don't require a lot. So there are a lot of things that you can get involved with as a woman on top of being a wife, being a mother, being a friend. Like, we all wear so many hats. So Impact 100 is unique in the way that you can be as involved or uninvolved as you want. If you want to donate $1,000 and show up to the reveal dinner and that's the contribution you want to make, we are happy to have you, and we will save a seat for you at the table. If you want to join committees and be involved in every single step of the process, we are happy to have you, and we will save you a seat at the table.
So that's the way you can get involved.
Absolutely.
Now, can you describe a moment where members really saw the power of collective giving in action?
Yes, I think our finalist presentations, when those agencies come and they're able to present, we live in these communities, and it can be very easy to have an arm's distance from the need in the community. Sometimes it's you don't see the need because you don't realize how blessed you are that you don't see the need and you don't experience that. So having the nonprofits come to us, present and explain not only what their program is, but who that program is going to meet and the data they use to come to that decision. Nonprofits don't say, well, what if we had a hot air balloon competition?
Right.
You know, like, they look in the needs of the community. They're very involved in the pulse. And so them bringing that information to us sort of bridges that gap from what the community needs and then where we traditionally are. So having that in front of us and hearing from community members. Last year, one of the finalists was able to bring a very prominent member of our community that we all know and love to the presentation. And she shared her story about how her child actually has heavily benefited from one of these nonprofits. And it's that human connection where you get to see the face of who this is impacting. You get to see the scope of what it is and the outcomes of how they've operated in our community. It's a very heartwarming moment. And to be able to sit in the audience and know that you're hearing a problem that's heartbreaking, but you're actively being a part of the solution to solve that problem, it's a very wonderful experience to be a part of.
And very rewarding.
Very rewarding.
Brittany, tell me how a organization can contact you, and also someone wanting to get involved in this wonderful process?
That is a great question. So I don't know the I'll give you my answer to that on the back end. So we are on social media. We do have a Facebook, Impact 100 Gulf Coast.
Okay.
If anyone wants to email me, you can email me at communications@gulfcoast.impact100global.org. If they want to be a member, we also host mix and mingles. You can find those on our social media.
Okay.
Our inaugural year, we had 307 members. So if you throw a stone around your friend group, there's a pretty likely chance that they're already in touch with us. You can reach out to them, or again, join us at one of those mix and mingles, get plugged in, reach out. We're a very warm group. We all bond and unite over philanthropy, and the more the merrier.
Brittany, it's been a delight to have you as today's guest, and talking about Impact 100 Gulf Coast. Anything you would like to add?
I don't think so. I think we covered it. Thank you so much for having us. And like I said, if anyone hears this and they have a need, they will need met through their organization, please apply for a grant. And if you want to join us and be a member, please come join us and be a member.
Thank you so much, Brittany.
Thank you so much. This has been an absolute delight.
This is Donna Meldon, Executive Director with Holmes County Chamber of Commerce, and this has been Chats with the Chamber Lady. And remember, if you need it, or you want it, or you want to do it, we have it right here in Holmes County. Thank you. Brittany, it's been a delight to have you today, talking about 100 Impact. Oh gosh, it's an earworm. It's not preventing me to say that.
It does make us sort of uniquely positioned. Oops, cut that. You'll murder me if I say that.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry,
All right.
Charlie. Will you ask me that one more time?
Yes. Brittany, it has been so exciting to hear about Impact Gulf. I'm just okay.